Sarawak partners with Aussie University to develop hydrogen economy. Search for missing boy marred by bad weather, and SOXA predicts job market to return to pre-pandemic level. Those are the headlines for tonight. Hello everyone, you're with me, Douglas Elliott, and this is TVS Nightline. Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan today met with Indonesia's Energy and Mineral Resources Minister Bapak Arifin Tasrif. High on his list on the second day of his work visit to the Republic was to meet with his Indonesian counterpart to solidify Sarawak government's support for the development of the Muntarang Indo Hydroelectric Project or MIHAP in North Kalimantan through the participation of Sarawak Energy. In the meeting, Awang Tengah expressed Sarawak's appreciation to Indonesia's Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources for the continuous support and assistance given to Sarawak Energy via its joint venture company, PT Kayan Hydropower Nusantara. Awang Tengah said he is impressed with the Indonesian government for the ambitious plans to materialize the Tanah Kuning industrial area, adding that Sarawak Energy's experience in large hydropower in the Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy or SCORE and Indonesia's renewable energy-based industrial development RABIT agenda is an added advantage in Sarawak's participation for Tanah Kuning Green Energy Park. The MIHAP partnership would support Indonesia's renewable energy-based industrial development agenda via the supply of renewable energy to Kalimantan Industrial Park Indonesia, Tanah Kuning. Earlier on Monday, Awang Tengah led the Sarawak delegation to pay a courtesy visit to Indonesia's Coordinating Minister of Maritime and Investment Affairs, Luhut Binsar Panjaitan. The MIHAP sits in the Muntarang River in the Malinau Regency, North Kalimantan Province, and is capable of generating 1,375 megawatts of power. In a move towards establishing Sarawak into a hydrogen-producing hub in the region, the Sarawak government today inked a Memorandum of Understanding with Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne as a strategic alliance on accelerating the expansion of hydrogen economy. The historic signing was witnessed by Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian.
The MOU was signed by Sarawak Economic Planning Unit Director Datu Dr. Muhammad Abdullah Zaidil and Swinburne President and Vice-Chancellor Professor Pascal Quester. The partnership will see the Victorian Hydrogen Hub VH2 collaborating with Sarawak in developing hydrogen economy in the state. In addition to involving both parties more widely within the global hydrogen supply chain and ecosystem. Dr. Sim said, it is the vision of the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, to transform Sarawak into a hydrogen-producing powerhouse and to foster a hydrogen-driven economy for Sarawak. Through the collaboration, both parties hope to tackle research and human capital challenges and support sustainable manufacturing practices, as well as supporting the ability to store clean energy and strive to create a sustainable future for all. The MOU will also focus on research and innovation for the hydrogen economy through industry-led research and innovation programs.
Right, the search for missing Eric Chang stretches into its third day, with rescuers faced with a major letdown following heavy downpour earlier this morning. The weather persisted till noon and gradually improves at around 2 p.m. Rescuers immediately took to the waters as they resumed their search for the missing 4-year-old boy. Also seen at the scene today were his parents, who arrived to perform ritual prayers. The search operation will resume tomorrow morning. Our reporter Muhammad Yusuf reported the news from the scene as we bring you the latest development on the case. Here's the detail gathered earlier today.
All right, thank you, studio. Now, the SAR operation today did not go as planned because it was supposed to start at about 7 a.m. this morning. However, because of weather conditions, it wasn't safe for the SAR team to be deployed to the river. The sky only cleared up at around 1:30 p.m. And then taking advantage of the whole situation, they decided to deploy their assets. Several drones were flown for about 45 minutes to scout the area, and Bomba actually also deployed their K9 unit, codename Bella. Bella is actually specialized in tracing victims who are drowned, and it was brought around in a boat by its handler Kenneth Maser, and they scouted the river within 3 nautical miles radius. And for your information, the search area was also expanded up to Tanjung Po, located at about 5 nautical miles from the Muara Tebas jetty. Earlier today, yes, as we have reported, caretakers of Eric, who are currently remanded, will end tomorrow, March 16, and police from Tabon Jaya Police Station, they will seek the extension of the remand order tomorrow morning against the suspects to facilitate investigation under Section 302 of the Penal Code. And for more updates, we'll be updating from time to time whether any new leads have been found regarding Eric's body right here in Muara Tebas. So yep, that's all the update from Muara Tebas for now. Let's hope the SAR team will find Eric's body as soon as possible. Muhammad Yusuf reporting for TVS. Back to the studio.
Moving along, the Kuching Federal Court on Tuesday upheld the death sentence for a man found guilty of murdering a social activist, Bill Kayong, in June 2016. A 3-judge panel unanimously rejected the final appeal of 35-year-old Muhammad Fitri Pauzi after looking into the evidence as a whole and was confident the conviction against the appellant was safe.
The 3-panel appeal was headed by Datuk Nalini Pathmanathan, Datuk Vernon Ong Lam Kiat, and Datuk Abdul Rahman Sabli. The prosecution was handled by Deputy Public Prosecutors Abdul Ghaffar Abdul Latif and Muhammad Azmi Masood. On February 18, 2020, a 3-judge panel of the Court of Appeal also unanimously rejected Muhammad Fitri's appeal to set aside the conviction and death sentence imposed on him. Muhammad Fitri was convicted by Miri High Court in 2018 under Section 302 of the Penal Code for the killing of Bill Kayong. He was charged for committing the offense by firing a gunshot at 8:20 a.m. on June 21, 2016 at a traffic light intersection near the E-Mart Tudan supermarket. During the trial, Ravitaran remarked that Muhammad Fitri had failed to raise any reasonable doubt on the charge, as the face mask and rifle holster presented as case items also had traces of his DNA.
Following the incessant heavy rainfall and the Met Malaysia heavy thunderstorm warning, the Fire and Rescue Department Bomba ups its monitoring activities along Ulu Sarikei. Bomba Sarikei Chief Mahmudin Narudin informed that he has deployed his personnel to the location as preparations for an eventual flood.
Para saya di kebanyakan kawasan masih berada dalam terkawal dan menunjukkan tren menurun atau normal. Berdasarkan pemerhatian setakat ini di kawasan daerah Serikei, keadaan juga masih terkawal. Pemantauan dilakukan secara bergila-gila di beberapa lokasi yang dikenapasi berisiko dinaiki air. Operasi pemantauan berterusan. Ini amat penting kerana kita suka memakan keadaan berikutan perubahan cuaca yang tidak menentu.
He added, 7 areas in Sarikei have been identified as flood-prone areas if heavy rain persists, which include Kampong Baji, Kampong Seberang, Sare, Jalan Repok, Sungai Kesa, and Sungai Mugu Muara Payang.
Sehubungan dengan itu, saya juga menasihatkan penduduk di kawasan berisiko untuk membuat persediaan dan mematuhi arahan pasukan keselamatan dari masa ke semasa. Penduduk khususnya mereka yang tinggal di tebingan sungai perlu berwaspada dengan paras air sungai dan segera memaklumkan kepada pihak bomba sekiranya memerlukan bantuan kecemasan.
For the record, a massive flood inundated Ulu Sarikei in 2017, which submerged 3 schools and 19 long houses in the area.
Encik
You're watching TVS Nightline. Tourism industry players are thrilled to welcome tourists as the country's borders open soon. According to the chairman of the Miri Heritage Handicraft Dealers Association, the association has planned a variety of exciting activities to be held when the country enters the endemic transition phase on April 1st.
Kami plan juga mau buat kelas menganyam bakul, and then dancing pun kami orang semua tergandala, because kami macam saya sendiri ada juga saya ajar budak-budak menari, so ada juga orang tua yang orang warga emas yang pergi menari, so all this semua kena stop sudahlah. Mudah-mudahanlah semoga dapat diteruskan selepas border ni buka. Tapi ini untuk macam kegiatan aktiviti kami ini hanya di Miri sajalah buat masa ini. Macam cultural nights, macam itulah yang kami fikir.
Meanwhile, handicraft entrepreneurs at the Borneo Heritage Handicraft Centre also welcomed the announcement of the endemic transition phase beginning April 1st. According to entrepreneur Hilda Tiang, she said they had to use other initiatives to continue their business, such as using online platforms since the national border was closed.
Bagi saya, actually kalau border buka, dia memberi peluang kepada kita, sebab sebelum COVID, kita punya industri di sini, kita banyak menjual, pelancong banyak yang dari Brunei dan dari luar lah. Sebab sekarang ni bila COVID melanda, kita slow. Kalau kita tidak buat online, memang kalau nak harap customer yang walk in memang susah lah. Memang betul-betul slow. Saya harap bila border dah buka, diharap bila Brunei dah dapat masuk, and then kita dapat bangkit lagi seperti sebelum ini.
As for Chin Choi Cheng, he agreed that the opening of the national border can help handicraft entrepreneurs like him to earn an income through the arrival of foreign tourists.
Kalau dia masuk pelancong memang bagus. Kita mau sell suatu, dia sell macam mana saya bayar. Kalau tidak cukup bayar, macam dia orang 1, 2, 3 semua caput kaki. Pulang kampung sudah. Mana dia mau setiap bulan mau sendiri tanggung, mau rugi lah. Memang bagus. Tapi harap dia ada orang lah, tidak ada orang lu chip sale pun dia tak kenal. Kalau open tulis datang beli memang bagus. Saya orang ada sales, ada income. Tidak sungi-sungi.
A white paper on health towards the national health system reformation is expected to be tabled in Dewan Rakyat in November. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said the white paper is aimed at strengthening the country's healthcare system holistically to ensure that the services are more equitable, of high quality, easier to access at reasonable cost, and sustainable in the long run.
Kertas putih kesihatan ini adalah satu ikhtiar Kementerian Kesihatan
untuk membuka hujah dan perbincangan bersama rakyat serta pihak berkepentingan mengenai sistem kesihatan negara yang memerlukan penambahbaikan yang mampan. Kertas putih ini merupakan dokumen rasmi kerajaan yang insyaAllah akan dapat sokongan bipartisan yang akan menggariskan status semasa, jurang dan kekangan yang dihadapi. Dokumen ini juga akan mengemukakan cadangan penyelesaian secara berfasa daripada segi reformasi penyampaian perkhidmatan, pembiayaan, tadbir urus serta organisasi merangkumi tempoh 15 tahun.
The white paper would take into consideration the findings, as well as suggestions of various studies on the health system which have been implemented and the views of stakeholders, including the people, through engagement sessions. Kyrie added that the proposals of the white paper should also receive bipartisan agreement, and it should be brought to the level of the Senate and also forwarded to cabinet ministers and parliamentary select committee.
With the Mass Rapid Transit 3 project scheduled to commence tender this year for 5 main packages over 6 to 8 years, the overall alignment for the MRT 3 line is expected to be fully operational by 2030.
Laluan ini dirancang untuk beroperasi secara berfasa, di mana fasa pertama akan dibuka seawal Disember 2028 tertakluk kepada proses pengambilan tanah.
The MRT-3 project, approved by the Cabinet on March 4th, is a circle line covering the outer perimeter of Kuala Lumpur as well as part of the high-density areas in Ampang Jaya. We said based on the findings of a technical feasibility study carried out, the latest proposed alignment for the MRT-3 project is a 51-kilometer circle line in which 39 kilometer is in Kuala Lumpur and 12 kilometer in Selangor. The route would intersect with existing rail networks, including MRT-1, MRT-2, Light Rail Transit LRT, monorail and KTM commuter to form 10 new interchange stations so that the public transport network in the Klang Valley is more comprehensive.
80% daripada keseluruhan jajaran ini merupakan laluan bertingkat, manakala 20% adalah laluan bawah tanah.
We added that the project would be financed in a hybrid manner, involving financing sources such as the Sukuk with government guarantees and also financing by deferred payment. Adding further, we said the government may consider reviewing the fee structure for car parks in the city after the MRT-3 project is completed, including the need to impose an environmental fee or vehicle congestion fee when the public transport network system has been set up. The import permit of whole chicken has been extended until May 9 as an intervention measure to address problems due to shortage supply in the exporting countries. According to the Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Industry, Dato Sri Ahmad Hamzah, the delay in the arrival of chicken into the country was due to several unavoidable reasons.
Kita menerima aduan berkenaan kekurangan bekalan, kita telah membuat libat urus dengan semua. Mereka telah diberi AP permit. Barulah kita dapat makluman bahawa yang pertamanya, masalah yang berlaku ialah kerana pertamanya kekurangan bekalan daripada negara pengimport seperti Thailand serta harga yang tidak kompetitif. Untuk maklumat, Thailand turut beralih kepada sumber protein ayam kerana penyakit ASF, Asian Swine Fever, iaitu babi, telah menurun, jadi mereka telah beralih kepada diet kepada ayam. Maka permintaan di Thailand memang meningkat dan bahkan pengeluaran mereka menurun.
Commenting further, Ahmad said, as of last March 7th, a total of 4,000 metric tons of frozen chicken had been brought into the country by 14 companies with import permits or AP. This was to cover the lack of food supply in the current market. Following that, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry, or MAFI, in a statement said import of frozen chicken would be allowed for a period of 3 months from December 2021 until last February. Ahmad said poultry operators would not be affected by the import of frozen chicken, as it would only be temporary until the domestic chicken supply was stable.
The Social Security Organization, or SOCSO, expects the Malaysian job market to return to the pre-pandemic level soon. Its Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Muhammad Azmin Mohamad, said this is due to the strong economic catalyst, stability, and full economic reopening.
He said the main attribution that led to Malaysia's strong rebound was via various government initiatives to support the economy and workforce, along with financial moratoriums and cash withdrawals. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the number of unemployed people in the country dropped 1.1% from 687,600 in December 2021, while the unemployment rate stood at 4.2% as of March 9, 2022. Malaysia's employment situation continued its steady improvement in January this year, with just 680,400 remaining jobless, the lowest since the lockdown began in March 2020. With Bank Negara projecting Malaysia's GDP growth to 7.5% in 2022, he said the economic sector will likely return to its pre-pandemic state steadily, and hence, more jobs will be created to propel the economic growth. On its part, SOCSO has been holding various job fairs nationwide in line with the Jamin Kerja initiatives that seek to provide 600,000 job vacancies. He said among the key initiatives that have saved the people during the pandemic was the Employment Insurance Scheme to help workers cope with the loss of employment by providing immediate financial and job search assistance. Through EIS, affected individuals will be able to receive assistance for a period of 3 to 6 months. The assistance acts as a replacement income for those who have lost their sole source of income.
Welcome back. A spike in COVID-19 cases at Brunei Darussalam caused the total number of cases to soar up to over 100,000. However, situation in the Sultanate has shown significant improvement. Polan Mala Ali with the details.
After over 3 record-breaking weeks, March saw the total number of cases coming in at 100,000 here in the Sultanate of Negara Brunei Darussalam. The ministry said the country is going through its third wave of COVID-19, with Omicron replacing the Delta variant. Now, with regards to employees returning to work despite showing symptoms of infection, the Minister of Health, Yang Berhormat Datuk Sri Setia Dr. Muhammad Isham Jaafar, said it should be noted that the symptoms may not necessarily be COVID-19 related, as the normal flu, of course, still exists. The early endemic phase under the National COVID-19 Recovery Plan framework was extended for another 2 weeks to the end of March amid the rise in COVID-19 infections. This was announced by the Prime Minister's Office and Minister of Finance. The Minister added that the movement restriction from midnight to 4 a.m. was also extended to March 31st. Now, whilst we live in this pandemic-mired world, it would be nice to finish this bulletin on a non-medical issue. Brunei has been celebrating its local delicacies in Japan. 5 local businesses recently participated in Japan's leading F&B trade show, Foodex 2022, for the first time to potential export opportunities. The Embassy of Brunei Darussalam and AJC initiated the Improving Quality of Brunei Products project in 2020 in collaboration with DARE to develop existing Bruneian-made products for the Japanese market. It's a very exciting initiative, and we hope the world enjoys our local delicacies. We wish them all the very best. We hope you have a great week ahead from us. From Negara and Brunei Darussalam, this is Paula Malay Ali for TVS.
Parts of Spain woke up on March 15 with streets covered in dust and the sky tinted in an orange hue as Storm Cilia swooped Saharan dust across the peninsula. Spain's National Meteorological Agency warned that the air quality was severely affected by the haze, especially in the center of the country.
In the Spanish capital Madrid, residents and business owners were seen cleaning terraces, streets, windows, and cars which were covered in a layer of dust.
Bastante incómodo limpiar todo esto. Yo estoy haciendo deporte por respirar, pero es algo natural que no se puede evitar.
Pues hombre, a mí me afecta bastante porque estoy de los pulmones, entonces me afecta bastante. Por eso no me quito normalmente, aún aquí no me quito la mascarilla. Cuando me asfixio un poco, pues me la bajo.
Sí, pues nos afecta a nivel, en la tienda todo lo que entra, ha entrado todo el polvo y manchando los artículos. Cada persona que entra lo mismo, hay que estar todo el día con la fregona y bueno, sí, obviamente afecta.
Pero bueno, lo único que he tenido que limpiar las ventanas, la terraza en casa y como no tengo coche, pues tampoco me toca demasiado de cerca.
The storm began last Sunday and is expected to last until Thursday, March 17.
The Eiffel Tower grew 6 meters after a new digital radio antenna was attached to the top of the Paris monument. The tower now measures 330 meters after the digital audio antenna was airlifted onto its peak by helicopter under Leiden sky.
During its construction, the Eiffel Tower surpassed the Washington Monument to become the tallest man-made structure in the world, a title it held for 4 decades until the Chrysler Building in New York City was topped off in 1929. Based on TripAdvisor, the wrought iron lattice tower is among the most visited tourist sites in the world. It has also been used for broadcast transmissions for more than 100 years. With the height of its pinnacle changing numerous times as aging antennas were replaced, a helicopter lowered the antenna onto its base atop the tower, where workmen made it secure in an operation that lasted less than 10 minutes.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. More headlines, head to our website, TVSTVMY, or follow us on our social media account. Once again, I'm Tegal Selit. Thank you and good night.